Dealing with guilt is a difficult matter. It involves us coming into reconciliation with what we've done, with who we were, and trying to basically combine it with who we are now. Trying to basically disseminate the knowledge into our very being and become better because of what we've done, because of our relationship with other people, and action itself that spurs on karma, that spurs on our relation to reality, dharma. When we have done something that we're ashamed of, no matter what it is, we might have some guilt. We don't always have guilt. I mean, the people who feel the most presence of conscience do feel some guilt when they've done something bad. If you do not, then it is unlikely that you will find anything useful in this video, but also anything useful in the aspect that is guilt, the aspect of our personhood, of our personality itself as well. When we've done something bad, we do feel that guilt, but we have to realize that there is no changing the past. The past is something that is stationary. It never really changes. Everything must come from the past. The present itself is a union of the past and the possibilities for the future. Now, the possibilities for the future, as far as what we feel guilt for, what we could have done better, and we're analyzing ourselves in the present. That becomes a union once we reach that point in the future. But the future is always ahead of us. It's always something that we plan for, and it's always something that is very much a creation from the present and our perspective on the past. If I hit somebody in the past that I didn't like, but I feel bad about it, that I punched them, then I have to learn the fact that, okay, I could have done something better. Maybe I could have talked to them in a manner in which we come to an agreement, to where there wasn't any violence, to where there wasn't any conflict in a physical manner, and then maybe the conflict that we had verbally or mentally was more of an evolution of ourselves, of me and the person that I hit. We could have had a personal evolution together. We could have come to an understanding as a result, and I didn't ultimately have to punch that person. It is basically the outcome. We learn that, and then we move forward based on the knowledge of examining what we did and how we could have done better. When it comes to guilt of a criminal nature, if we did something that we aren't even charged with, but we feel bad because we broke a law, we broke a window, we stole something from somebody, that if a person has a conscience that is very active and vital to that human being, something that one considers a part of oneself, then we will feel guilt inwardly, and that will be kind of our karmic punishment. If somebody does not feel guilt for breaking a law or hurting somebody, then it is likely that karma will bring much more drastic results, much more drastic conclusions to what we did. But if we analyze ourselves and examine what we did and try to move forward based on what we've learned, how not to do this burglary or this harming of somebody else, then it is likely the universe will respond by basically putting us in that position again, but not necessarily punishing us for the position that is past, that we chose the wrong decision in. As far as guilt when it comes to family members and friends, if our relationships are affected by what we did to somebody, emotionally, physically, psychologically, then our relationship to ourselves changes. We start to have reactions to what somebody else does if we feel guilty, that are trying to make up for what we did in the past, that we're trying to basically do something better for them based on us not doing good for them in the past. And this is a very natural response. This is something that we should feel. We should try to do better in our relationships if we have done something bad in the past. And our consciousness becomes reactive based on what we've learned, what we want to do better in the future. And when our consciousness becomes reactive in a positive sense, in an evolutionary sense, to where we go to higher and higher levels of consciousness, then that is proper progress, and the universe will unlikely respond in a negative way if we properly learn our lesson. There are many chances to learn from what we've done wrong in the past, and if we take those opportunities, we will find that we evolve to become a better person, and that the universe itself sees that we are a better person and does not cast us into, I guess you could say, immediate judgment. Bad karma coming to fruition in the very physical and societal sense. If we feel no guilt at all, if we feel that we are always in the right and we allow our ego to take hold of us, then we will always have a physical and very real and societal reaction that the universe basically inflicts upon us in an attempt to make us learn. Now, Dharma, the moral fabric of reality, is not about justice. It is about empathy and growth, as one man once said, as one, I guess, law of nature once was stated and is always stated every second. When we empathize with what others have suffered at our hands and empathize with who we were, we meet growth, we find growth, and we become better people as a result. Now, this is really all I have to say on guilt for now, and dealing with it. But however you feel in regards to what you've done in the past, if you feel bad about it, it's much better to feel bad and grow from that than to just say, okay, well, I was in the right. Because most of the time when there's any hint of guilt or any feeling that comes from others that we didn't do right, most of the time it is because we indeed committed an act that was improper to what we should have done, improper to the moral fabric of reality, and it needs to be improved. Sometimes people blame us for things that we didn't deserve. Sometimes people blame us for things that we weren't even a part of, but they just take it out on us, and then basically reality and the universe responds to them in its own karmic and direct way, and that's something outside of our sphere of influence. But most of the time we have to really pause and think about what we've done. So I encourage you to think about what you've done and try to grow from it. That's what this is all about. Growing from what we've done and growing in the sense that we will act better in the future. So thank you very much for watching. If you have anything you want to discuss as far as guilt goes, feel free to shoot it down in the comment section below, and I will most likely respond. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you all have a great day.